What's up, you guys? It's Yasmin here, your favorite girl. I hope that you're all doing super well. I know again that it's been a while since my last video, but I'm just like, taking time so that I can focus more on myself and so that then I can bring new content right here on YouTube. But yes, so a lot of things have happened during these past months. I've been growing up mentally and of course physically because we only get older. But yeah, I've been growing up mentally and I've realized that I'm just going to come here on YouTube and pop up new content just when I feel like I have to do so. Not I don't want to force it. For instance, as I was saying to you before, I've been focusing on myself and only when I feel like I want to share a message with you guys, or like for instance I want to share a cover or an acting video, I'm gonna do it. But if it's not happening, I'm not. Like, I don't want to force stuff. Anyways, you guys, today I wanted to talk about a topic which is friendship, more specifically toxic friendship. Do you like this mic? Do you like it? Do you like this mic? I bought it and it's during summer. I've never used it, only for a cover that I uploaded right here on YouTube. But yeah, right now I'm like focusing on using stuff that I've never used. So here it is. Right. Anyway, so I was talking about friendship. I've already talked about this topic 1 year ago, maybe 1.5 years ago. Yes. And it was about toxic friendships in general. When I made that video, I was in 2023, I was 17 years old when I was about to start my 4th year of high school. And I wanted to change as a person. I wanted to be my best self and stuff. I wanted to drastically change and become all of a sudden my highest and best self. The thing that I didn't know was that it would have taken time for me to transform into a better self, because of course great things take time. So I had uploaded that video in which I was basically talking about toxic friendships and the fact that the first step so that you can become a better self and a better you is of course to cut any relationship with people you don't like, with people who give you mixed signals, with people who give you negative vibes, red flags, negative energy, who are fake, who always gossip, who always whatever. But then I deleted that video, and that was a big mistake because I was listening to the opinions of people who wanted to bring me down, to my haters. I was listening to my haters. So I deleted that video, and I actually feel so sorry for myself, because I promised that I had made to myself was not to listen to haters, because I was saying to you before, you guys, it is a process. So I am back here again on YouTube, trying to be again my best self, alhamdulillah. And right now I'm talking about this topic, this time with new things that have happened in my life. So I want to start by making an example. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the fact that why the lighting, fuck. Okay, I want to talk to you guys about the fact that trying to be your best self, it is not an easy thing, right? You're always going to fall back to your old habits, toxic habits, just because they seem familiar, right? So my toxic habit was to always go back to my toxic friendships. So when I made that video about 1 year ago, I definitely cut off a lot of people. Oh, what the I had definitely cut off a lot of people in my life, and it was a definitive thing, right? But then again, I was hyping myself. I was bruh, I'm I'm so good right now because I'm by myself. I just need God, whatever. But then I don't know how this happened. I slowly started to fall, I started to go back to my old habits, even though they were not benefiting me. sometimes it just happens like this. Like, you know, you're like so cool, you're like so happy about your life, about this new version of yourself, and then all of a sudden you're like, but why should I, maybe I should, like, you know, go back to my old habits, even though they wouldn't fucking benefiting you, you know? So the thing was, some of these people with whom I used to be friends with were even in my class, right? So I wasn't talking to these people at all when, like, you know, they were in class with me. But what happened was that basically during summer, like, you know, I catched up with some of them, right? Just because, you know, I was like, you know, let's, you know, talk again, whatever. I'm forgetting about what happened, about, you know, the red flags that I received and stuff during our friendships. So I completely forget, let's say I completely forgot about why I had decided to, like, you know, cut up those people in my life. So, like, you know, yes, you took a decision. The decision was to cut off these people from your life. So why did you go back to them? Like, you know, I was feeling so good with myself when I wasn't around these people. The only thing that I needed was, like, you know, a friend to go out with. So I was like, you know, when I'm alone, I feel so good. But the problem is that like, the moment that I want to go out, if it's not just by myself, I can't go out with anyone else. So it's like, I need a friend to go out with. My mom always, like, you know, used to say to me, yes, you have to have friends with whom you should go out with. Like, you know, you cannot stay always on your own, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, but Mom, I'm so good by my own, by myself. But then I was like, you know, having solo dates, whatever. It is good, but of course you also need someone to go out with. I'm not saying that so this is like this is my experience, you guys. What I regret about what I've done, like, you know, the past year, is that I completely isolated myself. So I was like, you know, I didn't have any friends. Like, you know, I had cut off all people from my life, like, you know, even in school, whatever. But sometimes you don't understand that. You just, like, you know, you just have to keep it professional sometimes. Like, you know, hi, whatever. Whilst, like, you know, last year I completely, like, you know, shut all doors. And I was like, no, I'm not even going to say hi to this person. Even though, like, you know, that person actually, like, you know, didn't do anything to me. I was, like, you know, going to talk to that person because I was so traumatized by my past toxic friendships that I had decided basically to, like, you know, completely ignore and cut off all kinds of people from my life. So this was a big mistake. It was, like, you know, from, like, let's say from a perspective, it was good because, like, you know, I could focus more on myself. But from the other, like, you know, I was having more solo days. I was, like, focusing more on myself. I was working out, focusing on my, like, you know, my journey, whatever. But from the other side, from the other perspective, on the other hand, I would say that it was a bit of a mistake because as I was saying to you before, I completely isolated myself because I was afraid of being hurt. So I, like, you know, even though I would see a person that, you know, gave me good vibes, I wouldn't go to that person and talk to that person. So, like, you know, for people who know me, Yasmin, she's a very, like, you know, outgoing person. If she sees something that she likes, a person that, you know, gives off positive energy, positive vibes, like my same vibes, you know, I would go to that person, like, you know, start talking, you know, like, yo, I love your fit, whatever. But, you know, I completely, like, you know, completely isolated myself because I was, like, you know, it was a kind of a self-protection thing. I didn't want to be hurt, so that was why I basically cut off all kinds of people from my life. But yeah, so, but I'm not saying that you should cut off, listen, I'm not saying that you should cut off all kinds of people. I'm saying that you should cut off from your life the people who disrespected you, the people who gave you, the people, like, you know, with whom you had a toxic friendship with. So, like, you know, toxic friends, which are friends with whom you don't feel a good vibe, you don't feel good energy, you don't feel anything that could actually, like, you know, make you blossom, right? Bloom or blossom? Bloom, I believe, whatever. So yeah, if around this person you always feel negative, it is always about that other person and never about you. If that other person just asks about you just like so that she can say, okay, I made the question, but I actually don't give a shit about you, that's a red flag, babe. That's a red flag. So the thing is, if you don't feel good around a friendship, that's a red flag. That is a red flag. Cut off these people. Another person will come. For instance, you have to understand that you gotta have standards. Like, for instance, if the friendship, which is actually a toxic friendship, it is all focused on the other person. If you give advice to this person, but that this other person doesn't listen to you and keeps doing the same things, again, if the focus is on that other person, that never on you, this person never compliments you, but compliments everyone else. But you know why? Because it is you, baby. Because it is you that they see. That's why they don't compliment you. You trigger them. That's the truth. What else? Of course, they never compliment you on your achievements, or they wouldn't say, yo, you're so beautiful today. Of course, I'm always beautiful, but it's like, if they don't compliment you and they're like, oh, I love this fit, or like, oh, good, I heard that you had a very high mark, they wouldn't compliment you. That is a very like red flag. I'm talking to you like right now, seriously. Or again, if they feel like they can easily replace you just like this, that is maybe like, the biggest red flag. Like, if they organize themselves with you, they're like a meeting from like, I don't know, a week maybe. But then what happens is that they get another call from another person last minute saying to them that they want to go out with them. They will listen to that other person and leave you just like that, even though you had waited a whole week to go out with them. Or again, if maybe you guys, you needed to meet, and then, last minute, this person says, oh, no, don't come, completely forgetting the fact that you had spent, a whole hour preparing yourself to go out with them. They would ignore. They would ignore, just to go out with another person. That is so disrespectful. Girl, have some standards. As I was saying to you before, during the summer, I decided to catch up again with some of my old toxic friendships, and I completely and absolutely regret this, because I don't know how, but somehow I thought that these people had changed, and I completely forgot about the fact that if I had decided to cut these people from my life, then there was a fucking reason. I'm not stupid. So it's like, if I recite from you pretty some signals about the fact that you don't give a shit about me, that you only give a shit about yourself, and you keep damaging yourself. You don't every single time you fucking suck my energy. So whenever I leave whenever we go out and I leave, I feel like my energy has been sucked. So I don't feel the same. I don't feel nourished. I don't feel better, So what I was saying to you before is that I decided to catch up with this friend, right? And at first it seemed okay, but then all of a sudden this person started to have this same fucking behavior that she used to have, right? And that made me click, and I was like, okay, but this is why I actually decided to leave my friendship with you. So what happened was that I kept on swallowing this disrespectful behavior that she had towards me, until a thing something happened, and I decided not to to effectively completely cut off this person from my life. Not just her, but other people, whatever. You could also, like, just ghost people. It's not that you have to give them an explanation, because of course their behavior towards you was already an explanation of the decision that you started, that you wanted, that then you made, right? If a person keeps on disrespecting me, I'm ghosting that person. I don't even want to, like, have a fucking confrontation with you, because your behavior said everything about yourself. So you keep on disrespecting me, I leave. I don't want you in my life. So don't come and ask, oh, we should talk. No, baby, we shouldn't talk, because you had to fucking wake up and not treat me like this, right? So, yeah, I was like, I had kept, like, on swallowing and swallowing and swallowing. Even that shit already happened 1 year before. Like, this person wasn't fucking there for me when I needed it, right? So that was why I decided to cut out this person from my life. But then I decided to give this person another chance and just, like, go out with this person, whatever, just to have somebody, like, to go out with, right? But then this person started to have the same behaviors. And I was like, okay, but I'm just going to keep on going out with this person because I need someone to go out with. And then something happened that made me click something on my mind. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to go out with you anymore. You're never going to change. Some people are never going to change, right? So, yeah, baby girl or baby boy, you gotta realize that you're fucking worthy. If you don't have someone in your life that fully respects you as a friend, as a partner, whatever, that person doesn't fucking deserve you. I would rather so much being alone, independent, just having God by my side. I'm completely okay, which is me now, actually. Like, during the last weeks and just in general last months of my life, I've been focusing so much on just, like, myself and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's like I've been trying, like, to reconnect back to him. And of course I'm realizing that, last year was so focused on him only. But then when I decided to go back to my old habits and then, like, re-talk to these people from my past, that's when I lost him again. So, like, right now I'm trying to reconnect to him another time so that I can focus on myself more, but now with another perspective. Like, don't fucking go back to your old habits, because if they were the thing that made you realize that you had to fucking change and, like, completely, like, eliminate these people from your life, it was because of a reason. So don't fucking ignore the things, the actions that you made. Like, if I fucking, like, I stopped talking to you, there was a reason. So, like, I trust myself. If I did something, it was because that person was respecting me. So I don't need to owe you any explanation. You fucking explain yourself on your own, on your fucking disrespectful behaviors, right? So yeah, that's it, you guys. That is today's video. I wanted to make it from a long time. I hope that you liked it and that it has helped you somehow. You guys, don't go back to your old habits just to have someone around. Like, focus on yourself. Focus on having solo dates. Try to have some friends to go out with, but they don't have to be people who, like, disrespect you. There will be someone out there that, knows how to not be late or on a meeting, or, like, knows how not to replace you, like, last minute. There will be someone out there. It doesn't have to be your best friend, because I'm still, like, for instance, I'm still looking for a best friend. Like, I know that one day I will have a best friend, like, like movie best friend. But even though that moment still hasn't come, you just have to, first of all, have God in your life. Focus on yourself, not rely on other people, and make sure that, maybe, of course, you gotta have your solo dates, whatever, your solo time, but you also have to go out, because it's not good for your health not go out with anyone, or, like, just going out by your own, because of course humans were made to socialize with each other. So it's like You need someone to talk to. Of course, you always need to change energies, whatever. If it's always you, then you're going to get, like, you know, you're going to get tired of it. So, like, you know, just make sure to have someone that actually, like, you know, a good friend, like, you know, to go out with. Some good friends, like, you know, 3 or 4. Doesn't have to be your bestie. Again, I was listening to you. And yeah, for today, guys, that's all. Hope that you like today's video, that it has helped you somehow, and I see you in the next one. I'm not going to disappear, inshallah. I see you in the next video, inshallah. Bye.